So Nicki Minaj decides to sit down with Bryce Crawford and share some really sticky, kind of scary things about the industry. She talks about how, like, in the beginning when it was great and she had a great time being a new artist, and she was amongst other artists that, they share the same common thing where they all wanted to just grow in their career, and they were all rooting for each other until some sinister things started to happen. Let's just listen.
Does this person have good motives? You can just sort of feel like, does this person have good motives or not so great motives?
Yeah.
Sometimes people come around you, they don't even know what motives they have. They don't even know why they want to be around you. There are a lot of predators in this industry.
Yeah.
That think that artists are stupid. So especially artists, you have to have your guard up.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I first came in this industry, I thought it was just all happy and fun, and I was just like this fun-loving person.
All artists probably do.
I'm like, okay, this is serious, and I have to take this serious. I have to take my life serious. I have to take these relationships serious.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've been doing. But really,
sorry,
there's no method. I just say discernment. Like one day I'll just wake up and I'll feel something about someone strongly, and I'll just know their time is up.
When you were in the industry, I would say in the rise of your career, and even just as you're going across your career in the industry, did you ever just feel like the industry wasn't what you thought it was?
Yes.
Was it like right away that you realized that, or did it take a little while to realize?
I think it took a little while, because in the beginning, and it was a lot of fun. Honestly, we had so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, this is not anything that new, right? Of course, we're not surprised by this. Anytime you start this, you're wide-eyed, you're excited, all you want to do is see your dreams come true. You're a new artist and you want to, you have this opportunity, right? And you're amongst other artists and you share this one thing in common, that you are at a time in your life where you're able to share your talents and your creativity to the world, right? And it's just like, wow, this is so exciting. So, yeah.
Rooting for each other. I thought that's how it would always be. I thought everyone just roots for each other and really wants each other to win.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just thought the camaraderie was how it was supposed to be. So it was a beautiful experience in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I started realizing people are really vindictive in this industry. That if you don't, in other words, I started realizing that if you don't get money with one person or specific people,
mm-hmm.
they don't want you to get money at all.
Whoa.
Okay. You know what I'm thinking about, y'all, when she's talking, and I'm not, this is nothing against Nicki, but I'm like, wow, I love that she is being very transparent in her walk with Almighty God. And she's like, you know what? Yes, I love Jesus, and I am taking this walk and I am enjoying my relationship with the Lord, right? But my thing is, when she talks about vindictive people, or maybe just people who weren't as nice, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm like, Nick, maybe this is a good time for you to expose yourself and be like, maybe I wasn't always so nice. Maybe I sometimes, you know what I mean, was like the mean girl. Or maybe she doesn't feel that way about herself. I'm just saying, but, when I look back and I think back at remember that back and forth that she had with Lizzo, and my goodness, it was like a dig, right? When she was like something on the line, and don't quote me, but something along the lines of Lizzo lost all that weight to sell 10 records or something like that, and then she said some things about, SZA, and let's not talk about the back and forth with Cardi B, child, okay? And I'm not saying that Nicki Minaj didn't get attacked, never got attacked. Nicki, in my opinion, yes, some people are not too nice to not too. I feel like, you know what I mean, a little bit, not bully Nicki, because I don't think that Nicki has the personality to be bullied. But I think maybe I'm just an outside out looking. I'm not even looking inside. I don't have no window to look in, okay? I'm just speculating. So I'm just speculating, okay? This is just my opinion. I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, Nicki started getting this bad reputation, and then people started layering on, but a lot of the stuff was not true about Nicki. So it's like these group of people, right, maybe been through something with when it came to interactions with Nicki. Allegedly, I don't know anything about this stuff. I'm just thinking, like, guessing, I guess. But then you have some people like, yeah, and I heard that, because that's how rumors start, right? So maybe, just maybe, she was maybe bullied in that way, where a lot of the stuff that people say about Nicki was not true. But I'm just saying, I would have, if I was her, I would have been like, you know what? And then there was times when I wasn't so nice in situations, because you wasn't at times.
It was a beautiful experience in the beginning. I started realizing people are really vindictive in this industry. That if you don't, in other words, like, I started realizing that if you don't get money with one person or specific people,
yeah,
they don't want you to get money at all.
Whoa.
And that's when I started realizing, like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, what did I sign up for? Because I didn't know that these people would be so territorial over people, that they don't even know, that they don't have any claims to. But that's what it started.
Well, yeah, right? But, like, I think a lot of artists are like that, right? Like, if you don't do this with me, if you don't do, like, they don't say it, but it's like, if you work with an artist and they don't like that artist, then they want to basically, like, mess it up for you and mess it up for your career from then on, right? If you hang with these type of people, and you don't, and you know what I mean, or you do a record with this person and I don't like that person, then I'm gonna make sure that you don't do any work, right? Or my friends don't work with you, right? So then you're blackballed from a lot of things. Yeah, we've heard that many times in the industry.
It started feeling like everyone wanted to, like, stake their claim into human beings, like they were property. And if you didn't abide by their rules or put money in their pocket, they would actively try to stop you from making money to feed your family, from prospering in the industry that you love.
Whoa.
So that's when a different light bulb went off in my head. Like, what the heck did I get into? It would be like,
Yeah.
if you had a disagreement with one person, instead of that person just moving on with their life, and you moving on with your life, it would be like this person would call someone else so that you won't get an opportunity over there.
So you were blackballed.
And then that would continue happening. But not just with me. I saw it with a lot of very talented people. That they were talented, and maybe one particular person or one particular group of people didn't like them.
Yeah.
And because of that, they kind of just got, made to be, like, almost invisible.
Okay. But the thing is, Nicki, I feel like she's coming across like she's like I'm such a victim, right? But Nicki, do you remember when, like, you went off on SZA? Like, or Megan Thee Stallion? Like, I understand, like, they weren't, Megan Thee Stallion's not innocent either, but whoa, Nicki, you're not a victim. You're not a victim. I'm not saying, though, that, how can I say this? I'm not saying that she's not wholeheartedly a victim, but what I'm saying is, like, there were times, I'm trying to really use my words, there were times where it looked like, from a fan's, a fan's lens, it looked like you were sometimes the bully, and it looked like you were sometimes the one that, you had the power. You were like the huge artist, and a lot of times it looked like you were the one, like, I'll never work, you know what I mean? Like, it looked like you were doing exactly what you said that you saw. Am I wrong? So then she starts to talk about the church also, right? And why a lot of artists stop going to church, don't go to church. Let's listen to it.
In my real life, I would not have made it at all. You know?
Yeah. Did you ever have a season in life where you strayed away or drifted away from the faith and came back?
Yeah. Once my career started taking off, first of all, I stopped going to church. Not because I wanted to go to, I still wanted to go, but it was all of a sudden I was working on Friday nights and Saturday nights. So the last thing I could do was wake up on Sunday mornings to go to church like I used to.
Yep.
And in fact, I used to go to church on Wednesdays and Fridays and Sundays. But once I started working, it wasn't even something that like made any sense. I was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm not gonna. I moved to California, and I never once went to a church once I moved to California. And the other thing is that people don't talk about and people don't really understand is your relationship with God is a very private, intimate thing. And when you go to church, you want to feel like you're in a moment by yourself, no matter, applying all of those things that I had learned.
Right.
In my real life, I would not have made it at all. You know?
Yeah. Did you ever have a season?
So I totally understand that, but like that's how it almost sounds like everyone, right? Like, you know how you pray for, you pray for a job, you pray for the certain job, right? You praying, you're going to church faithfully, you're consistent, you're going to Bible studies, you're doing everything, the things, right? And then something opens up. God blesses you with the job. He blesses you with the job, right? You get the job, you're so happy. In your mind, you're thinking, I'm going to continue to be consistent, but then all of a sudden, it starts slowly. You're not reading your scriptures every day like you said you would. You didn't attend this service, you didn't attend this service, and it's just kind of dropping off where you're not attending. So it's not just celebrities. That happens with everyone. That happens with every single person. Now, I'm not saying, some people it's consistently happening to them and it's because they're not tackling it. They're not being obedient. They're not saying, hey, you know what, God, I know I've slacked and I'm going to get back up. I'm going to pick my cross back up and keep going, right? They're not saying that fast enough. So they're basically, they're going the wrong way, Soon, then it's no praying, no nothing. There's no reading the scriptures. They're completely weak and they don't feel God close to them like they did feel before they got that job or what have you. And then now all these things start happening, and then they realize, I'm apart from God. What just happened? What happened? I'm not fiery anymore. I'm glad that she brought this up because, it's a relationship with God is the most important thing. But you have to be careful because this world will trick you in making you think you're good. Probably not looking in the right camera, y'all. I'll get it one day. This world will try to trick you in thinking that you're good and you're strong enough. You are not strong enough. You have to consistently stay in prayer. You have to consistently stay. I'm talking to myself, y'all, because I have failed in that many times. I know what I'm talking about. I'm going through it right now. Okay? I'm going through it right now. Yes, it is times when you're not going to be able to go to service. You know, a lot of people can't physically go to church service because they travel a lot. You know, people are on tour, things of that nature. So that's why it's really important to use this. That's why social media is a blessing in that sense, right? The internet is a blessing in that sense, where you can search, and now you can have services online, or if your church streams, your church you can watch the service online, but it's about you using your resources, right? Holding yourself accountable, and seeking God. Even when you're way up here in success and you got those billions coming in, this person should not be any different than this person. When you were eating ramen noodles, every single day, it should not be different. You still need them. You need them even more now. Message? Using your resources, right? Holding yourself accountable, and seeking God. Even when you're way up here in success and you got those billions coming in, this person should not be any different than this person. When you were eating ramen noodles, every single day, it should not be different. You still need them. You need them even more now. Message?
Famous is you're going to church. If you go to a church, people will stare at you.
Yeah.
And so it takes away that feeling of just you and God. It takes that away and makes you feel like you're on display. How can you?
Child, please. Let me tell you something. People stare at you anyway. Honey, especially if you're new in the church. I mean, some people are just gonna look like, oh, hi, and it just be look. You can't. A lot of people don't go to church because of the people in the church, and it's like, honey, you're in the world. You're not in heaven. You please don't think you're gonna go to church and everybody is going to be perfect. It doesn't go like that. You may have someone who's backslid, but they're still coming to church. You may have someone who, might be mad at one of the sisters in the church, and now the devil got them that way. Listen, do not go to service. Do not go and let somebody in the church mess up your walk with God. I could care less if you don't like me or if you cut your eyes. I do not care. You are not messing up my walk with God. You're not. Right? If my walk with God messes up, it's not going to be because of a sister or a brother in the church. It's going to be because I dropped the ball. I messed up. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. I really want to hear y'all comments about this, because this is a very sensitive topic. It talks about the church, it talks about the industry and church. But I can honestly understand. I can understand too, what she's talking about, like gawking, people staring at you because you're Nicki Minaj. Like, I get it. Like, how could I come in the house of God and really concentrate on the word when everybody in the congregation is staring at me? But let me tell you something. It starts with the head in the church. It starts with the pastor. If the pastor's giving off starstruck, then guess what's going to happen? The congregation is going to give off starstruck. So that's why it's really important that the pastor should be like, God is the superstar. Jesus is the superstar. Y'all better not be coming up in here confused, because I only bow down and I only worship one. See what I'm saying? That's the kind of pastor that you need. But if your pastor's like, Nicki Minaj, the Nicki Minaj is in the service today. The Nicki Minaj, why don't you stand on up? Can y'all believe it? Woo! The Nicki Minaj. Stand up. I wish I would. Ha. Ha. And then if they start passing the plate around right around the time that Nicki's right there, that sweet spot where, because she can't stay through the whole service, and all of a sudden they do an offering early, that's a problem. That's a problem. All right. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. Make sure you put a comment down below. I love y'all real, real, real bad. And make sure you like, share, subscribe. Bye.